Hello! Welcome to Triggered Care. I'm Alex. Today I'm going to be talking about my experiences with EMDR, what it is, how it affected me, and all that. So let's get into it. EMDR stands for Eye Movement Desensitization Reprocessing. So the doctor will stimulate a sense, and while they're stimulating whatever sense it is, it can be like you follow their fingers with your eyes, or they tap on your knees or your shoulders alternatively. And while they do this, they ask you short, simple questions about your trauma. You answer in short, simple answers, and it's supposed to kind of redo your neurons a bit so you're not triggered as much, pretty much. So, about 2.5 years ago, I tried EMDR, and I had about 5 or 6 sessions of it over the summer. Almost immediately, I felt an emotional difference, and I'd say it was like a positive emotional difference. Like, I felt more in control of my own thoughts in a way, you know? I didn't have a lot of the old nasty voices bogging me down as much, so I definitely liked that. But after about halfway through my sessions, about the 3rd session, I started experiencing physical symptoms, and they were all stress related after I went to the doctor for them. Some of the physical symptoms that I experienced was my hair started falling out, along with I lost my appetite completely. So after this started happening for about a month and a half after I started my EMDR, I quit my EMDR to go to the doctor and figure out what was going on. And then I was diagnosed with alopecia, and they suggested that that was from stress, along with functional dyspepsia, which they also say is a stress-related disease. And so at first I didn't, I noticed that it happened in the middle of EMDR, but I didn't really put it together with EMDR for a while because I was so concerned about my symptoms, you know. It just kind of popped out of the blue. This is also around the same time of the election of Donald Trump, so I was a wee bit stressed out. And it wasn't until about a year or a year and a half later that I started looking up what, are there negative symptoms to EMDR. And I wasn't able to find much about it on the negative symptom side. And I'm not dissing it at all. If you think EMDR is a good choice, go for it. But I do think there should be a disclaimer that if you have problems with disassociation, if you're not able to ground fully easily, maybe you need to work on that before you enter EMDR, because my hypothesis of what happened was this was a few years before my repressed memories came up. And so I think what was happening is she was accidentally triggering these repressed memories that neither of us knew that I had, and my brain was not ready for it, and my body was not ready for it. So it definitely stressed my body out way too much, and so I had all those negative symptoms. And I am in no way saying don't do EMDR, it's evil. It's not evil. I've read from doctors who have practiced EMDR with their patients and stuff that if they have a good grasp on their grounding techniques, this is very helpful. This is like a light bulb moment for a lot of survivors where they make a huge step in progress and they feel a lot better from it. And for me, it wasn't necessarily that. A writing exercise actually did that for me like a year ago. Actually, that was right before my repressed memories came back up. But through that writing exercise, I had a lot more positive progress made rather than with the EMDR. And so I just want to put the idea out there that like EMDR is awesome and it's great for a lot of people, but if it doesn't work for you, that's okay. There's other ways that you can make all that progress. You don't have to follow that line of therapy, especially if you suffer from severe disassociation like I do. There's no reason that you should have to feel pressured into it. And I also read about EMDR that it is a lot more successful with people with a few traumas, or, you know, like a big single trauma, or, you know, enough traumas where like you can count them on a hand sort of thing. And it gets a little bit more complicated and sticky when you have layered trauma, which is something that I have. I have trauma from babyhood all the way up through my teenage adult years. So I think I had too much trauma, along with my disassociation was too strong to really allow that to work for me. Now, if I tried to go do it again, which I would probably be open to at this point, since I have had a lot of my memories come back, I think it would be a lot more positive experience, because I am better at grounding. I am better at all these things that I was kind of a novice at when I first tried it. And it's not that I'd been in therapy for years at that point, just I wasn't progressed enough to really be able to process those things. So my body had a very adverse reaction to it. So in conclusion, you know, don't write off EMDR as, oh, well, I shouldn't do that because I'll get really sick. But also just be aware of yourself. How well can you ground? How well can you kind of take control of your mind? Because, you know, but that's hard advice to give, because it's not like I knew that I had repressed memories. At that point, all I knew was that my hair was falling out and I was losing a lot of weight very quickly. I lost about half my hair, but that grew back after about a year. Like I lost all my hair and then it grew back, thank goodness. And then I still struggle with functional dyspepsia. But I've had like symptoms of that ever since I was a kid, but it only would come in like 1 week segments, or like 2 weeks at the longest, where I couldn't eat, and then I would be able to eat again. And so the difference there was it turned on and it did not turn off for years. I've gotten hungry in the last year a handful of times, so it's definitely eased up a bit, and I've gotten better at dealing with it. But if you can avoid turning that on, I definitely, avoid turning that on. Talk therapy is awesome. Writing exercises are awesome. Recovery is awesome. Just, you gotta be careful to do it in the right way and do it in the right order, is pretty much my point. So that was my take on EMDR. If you have EMDR stories, positive, negative, whichever, share them. Like, tell us what happened. Tell us what you experienced from it. Was it positive? Was it negative? Was it kind of both? Sort of like in my situation, where emotionally I was feeling better, but then my body was just like, no, I can't deal with this. So just let us know down in the comments. The links for the Discords, for the Triggered Care Discord, for the CPTSD Discord is down below. My email for this YouTube account is down below. If you want to send me a story and have me make a video on it, feel free to message me. So yeah, I think that's about good. Have a good one.